Alright, so here is the next slide. So this says you deposit $200 into a savings account that has a simple interest rate of 4.2% for 3 years. How much interest will you make? Okay, so I'm going to start back with my formula, which was I equals PRT. Okay, and we're going to put in everything we know. So we are looking for the interest, so we're looking for the I, so we're going to keep the I there. The principal, again, is what we start with, so that's 200. The rate is 4.2, but we have to change that into a decimal. So remember, we're going to move this 2 times. So my decimal is 0.042, so I'm going to put in times 0.042. And then the T stands for the time, which was right here, so it was in 3 years. That's my T, and so I'm going to plug that in for 3. Okay, all right, so with that, now I'm just going to get out my handy-dandy calculator, and I'm going to multiply those 3 numbers together. And sorry, I don't have that on my screen to show you, but just go ahead and take 200 times... So 200 times 0.042 times 3, and I get an interest of $25.20. And that would be the extra money that I would get from this. So if I wanted to know the total amount in my account, I could go ahead and say the 200, and I could add that, this 200, I could add that to the 25.20. Okay? All right, so the next one, if the simple interest on $2,500 for 3 years is $415, then what is the interest rate? So I'm still going to start with my I equals PRT. I'm going to fill in what I know. Okay, I know the interest is 415 because it tells me right there. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in here. So 415 equals the principal. The principal is what I started with. So there's the 2,500, so I'm going to put that in. And then what I don't know this time is the interest rate. So that's actually the part that I'm going to leave blank. And sorry, I'm running out of room, so I'm going to come back over here. All right, the rate is what I don't know, so I'm going to say R. And then the last part is the T for time. And if I look at T for time, right there it says 3 years, so I'm going to put that in here. All right, and we talked about kind of doing more grown-up equations, so I'm going to go ahead and take this 2,500 and multiply it by 3. So 2,500 times 3 is 7,500. So I'm going to make this 415 equals 7,500. And hey, look at this. This looks exactly like what we've been working on. So now I'm just going to solve that. I'm going to divide both sides by 7,500. It's exactly what I've taught you to do. So now I'm going to take 415 divided by 7,500, and in my calculator, I'm getting 0.0553. I'm going to stop there. Okay, so this is a percentage that we just found, a percentage, which is an interest rate. So now I'm going to move my decimal over 2 times so that now it is 5.5. So my rate is 5.5%. So it's exactly related to what we've been doing before. Okay? All right, the next part I need to make sure that I show you, which is kind of what I was talking about in this top one up here, is if you look at the next slide, that when we take balance, to get the balance in your account, we have to take the principal and add the interest to it. So if I look back at the slide before, we said that the deposit was 200, so that was our principal. And the stuff I added to it was 2520. So I'm going to add the 2520 to the 200. So this would be, the principal would be 200 plus the interest would be 2520. And if I add all that together, that would give me the balance in my account. So the balance in my account would be 225.20. And that would be the total. All All right, so let's look at this next one. It says a bank manager wants to encourage customers to open a certificate of deposit, which is called a CD. Your parents might have some of those. He decides to make a poster to show how much interest the CD earns over time. Help the manager complete the table. Okay, so let's look at time 0. That means I wouldn't have earned anything, so I really don't have to do anything. So that means I've earned nothing. And the new account balance is still the $2,500 that I put in originally. So there's that. All right, if it says then I want to do time 1 or 1 year, then I'm going to go back to my interest formula, I equals PRT, and I'm going to plug in my principal, which was $2,500. I'm going to put in my rate, but remember when I put in my rate, I have to change that, so I can't put in 3.5. I'm going to move the decimal point back 2 times. So I'm actually going to put in 0.035. And then I'm going to take that times the time, which here says it is 1 year. And that is going to give me how much interest I make. All right, so all I have to really do here is multiply these two numbers together, because I'm going to multiply by 1, and that won't change the answer. So 2,500 times 0.035 gives me $87.50. So the simple interest I earned was $87.50 in that 1 year. And then if I want my new account balance, I have to say, okay, I started with my principal. I added $87.50. And if I add those two together, I would get a total of $2,587.50. Okay, and I don't think I'm going to go ahead and do year 2 because it's going to be the exact same thing, except all I would do would be to change this to a 2, multiply it again, and then add it again. It'd be the exact same process. Okay? All right. I think we are probably good with today's lesson. So now you can go ahead and start it on your homework, and you can ask me questions the next time I see you. See you guys later. Bye.